Hey, it's Bobby here with Date Like a Grown Up. What do you do when you're on a date and the man just blabs and blabs and blabs and blabs? I hear this a lot. I hear this a lot from women. They go on dates, and these men who are like 50, 60 years old just talk and talk and talk and talk, and they don't stop. And it's such a turnoff, isn't it? It's such a turnoff. So I wrote an article about this on my website, and I talk about why they do that. So I want you to understand why. But before I give you that, I want you to read a comment that I got on this article from a woman, and it reads, "I've read a lot of the comments," she means on the article, "even with guys who regrettably talk too much and wish they didn't. What I don't get is this. It takes far more brain power, energy, muscles, stamina, etc. to form sentences and talk than it does to sit with lips zipped, nodding your head. How is it difficult, capital letters, how is it difficult for guys to stop talking so much? I don't understand how a person can't just close their lips together and stop forming words, especially when they know it's bothering a woman to jabber away. Could someone please explain this phenomenon to me? Sitting still and quietly equal no energy, just sitting energy. That's it. Talking and talking equal jaw movement, vocal cords, brain power. Please, capital letters, please, someone explain to me how hard it is for people, both men and women alike, to stop talking too much." Okay, so that was a comment I got from a gal we'll call Susie. And I read it and I thought, wow, um, compassion. There's this lack of compassion, sort of a lack of, obviously, it really bugs her when people talk a lot. Okay, I get that. And it's, I think, a little sarcastic, but I think that she's really serious about why do people do that. And I want you to understand the compassion part of it. It may be easy for you to have it that way, okay? It may be easier for you and more pleasant, say, for you to have conversations go a certain way, where you're passing the conversation ball and where things flow and he talks a little and you talk a little, and that's ideal. Okay, that's great. But you know what? That's not how it happens in real life usually. All right? People are different, especially men and women. We have different brain processing, we have different life experience, we have really different needs, we have different dating experience by far. And it's really important to remember that it serves you to try to understand where that individual person's coming from. Why? Think of the why. Why might he be jabbering away? Now, granted, it could be just because he likes to hear his voice. I've been out with guys like that when I was single. But what I find after dating myself for so many years, and then after helping so many women and hearing their stories about men that go on, when you step back and you try a little compassion and you try to give a little understanding, I want you to understand they have no one to talk to like we do. Okay? We have girlfriends. All right? Women can pick up the phone and call their girlfriend and tell them about their bad day at work and tell them about the bad date that they had and ask them what they think about this guy or that guy. Right? We can have those conversations with women in many parts of our lives sometimes. Men don't do that. Bob's not going to call Jim and go, "Oh, Jim, on a Tuesday night at 8 o'clock, oh, Jim, I'm really depressed because I emailed this gal on, website and I haven't heard back from her for 2 days. Or I haven't had a date in 3 weeks. Or it's just not going to happen." Men don't do that. Men don't chat amongst themselves, generally speaking. And we do. And so when a man comes out on a date, especially older men, when he comes out on a date and he has this lovely woman in front of him and she's looking open and he starts talking, he may go really overboard. It may be such a really wonderful, overwhelming feeling for him to be able to do that and to express himself in a way in which he can only do with a woman. In a way in which he can only do with a woman. And maybe he hasn't had a chance to do that with other women. it means so much for him to be able to do that, that he might just overdo it. He might just overdo it. And so I can't stress enough, this gal that wrote this comment, it's kind of mean. It's really like, I get that that's the way she prefers. And if that's the way she prefers things to be, that's cool. But here's what I said to her. I said to her, hey, look, if this bugs you, first I gave her what we just talked about. And I said, hey, look, if this just bugs you so much, and I talked about this in the article, then try to make him stop. Try to sort of help him chill a little bit. And so it could even mean interrupting him. And you can even do it if he's just talking. Just think to yourself, oh, that's sort of a dude thing. Okay, he's like taking advantage of being here with me because I'm so lovely and I'm listening. But I'm going to jump in and just go, hey, Bob, I'm really interested in getting to know you, but I'd also like you to get to know me. And I'd love to tell you anything about myself. What do you want to know? Just do that. Look him in the eye, be really honest, and try to stop him. Try to get him to just slow down. And you know what? A lot of men will be like, oh, thank you. Like you're saving them from themselves. And some men will be, oh, I'm sorry. And then you'll say 2 words and they'll just keep going. They'll just keep going. And that's okay. You learned something about them, right? You kind of gave them like, here's your chance to do it a little differently. And he may not. And that's okay. Don't go out with him again. But the judgment about, why aren't you doing this the way I want it done? Why aren't you doing this the way I imagine it should be on a date? That's got to stop, because hardly anyone's going to do it exactly the way you want to have a conversation. It just doesn't happen. And if you don't show some compassion and you don't try to understand the other person, with women and men, but of course we're talking about men, then you're maybe missing out on a lot of really good guys. So give them a chance. Interrupt them if you need to. And I've literally heard of men saying, oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Because here's what happens. When a man blabs on and on and on, and he's not a blabbermouth generally, and you let him, then he's going to go home. He's going to be driving home. And he's going to be like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. He's going to notice, I talked so much. Have you ever done that? I've done it. I'm doing it on this video right now. I think I'm talking too much. Okay, guy's going to be in his car. He's going to be driving home. And he's going to be, kind of going over the date. And he's going to realize, oh shit, I talked way too much. Oh my gosh, I didn't even shut up. And then he's going to be embarrassed. He may have overshared. And by doing that, he may realize he told you things he never wanted to tell you, especially on a first date. And you're never going to hear from him again, because he's going to be embarrassed and he's going to assume you don't want to go out with him again. And you know what? I get it. Maybe you don't want to go out with him again, but maybe he was really nervous. Maybe he was just delighted again by being able to do that. And maybe you'd want to give him another chance. And the way you do that and the way you help it is just be a little understanding and try to stop him. Just do that one thing. Hey, Bob, I'm interested in learning about you, and I'd really like to share about myself. Can we do that? And then just breathe. No judgment. Do it kindly. Give him a chance. And that way maybe you won't miss some really good men. And worst case, you won't leave mad. Like, this woman's angry. She's frustrated. She's angry because she's judging in a really big way. So even if he doesn't stop blabbing, at least you can go home thinking, oh, well, that's just, he was delighted. He talked too much. All right, next. I tried. Next. All right. So be kind. Be kind to men that you meet. Date like a grown-up. 3 principles. Balance your head and heart. Be kind to yourself and the men you meet. Take responsibility for your outcomes and your actions. That's it. It's what it takes to date like a grown-up. All right. Next time you meet a blabbermouth guy, I hope this helps. Be good to yourself. Night.